Hi everyone, welcome to the Top Listens podcast. I am your host, Kathy Inglot, and with me today I have a very special host and guest with me who is absolutely the one and only fashion designer, mogul, entrepreneur, film and TV producer. And we are in a very different location today. We're in his luxury SoHo flagship store at 138 Wooster Street. So I bring you the one, the only, Davidson Petit-Frere.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and honor to be on here.
It's so fun to have you finally. I've been begging you to do this for, weeks and months.
Yes.
And we're finally doing it. And I actually waited so that we could actually showcase the luxury SoHo retail show.
No, I think the timing and alignment was great, and I'm happy we were able to do it in a setting that was just, it's our home, but also it's a home away from home for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all of you, again, we're at 138 Wooster Street. So please come and visit because it is meant to be showcased, and you can actually feel the luxury that I'm sitting on right now and actually feel the clothes for yourself so you know what luxury is on your body. And Davidson is wearing himself today, head to toe.
Yes.
And it is probably one of the best outfits of luxury you could wear because it is butter. So for those of you that come in and get to try it on, you will absolutely love what he's wearing. But we're here for a special reason.
Yes.
And one of them is to showcase not just your brand, Frere, but also to show everyone the lessons that got you here.
Sure.
And everyone will think of you and see you and say, he's pretty young. He's in his mid-30s.
Still young for, some years.
Yes. And you made it, but they think it's an easy journey, or it looks like it's an easy journey.
It's still a journey.
Nothing's easy. One of the things that we wanted to bring forward is the ultimate luxury that you bring to the street.
Yeah.
And the historical nature of you being in SoHo. But also tell everyone, look, there's a lot of lessons to learn along the way.
For sure.
And share those with the audience.
For sure.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, what brought you to fashion?
What brought me to fashion, that's funny enough, we were speaking earlier about this, but, my start in just the business world was in real estate back in 2007. And, I started out wearing polo shirts and, just khakis and square-toed shoes. And, I really wasn't as savvy or into fashion as I am now. And, I was very, very content with that. And I really started to see, my peers, I was 17 and everyone else in the office was obviously much older, but also much more successful.
Yeah.
And I saw the consistency of success that they had just off of just their appearance. I think when you dress a certain way and your appearance is obviously your first, that's the first thing someone judges on, how you look and how you appear. So I think that's when I really took a big interest in making sure, okay, polo shirts turned to button-ups, and then got my first blazer in '08 and, starts, and then, dabble into getting full-on suits. So my love for fashion kind of started out, with about 19.
Yeah. And for everyone listening, I'm going to name some of the people you have dressed. Just some of them, because we'd be here all day if I named all of them.
Okay.
So we have Jay-Z.
Yes.
Beyonce.
Yes.
Denzel.
Yes.
John Legend.
Yes.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce.
Yes.
Tim Cook.
Yeah.
I mean, I could name every fashion person that, some people may know because they're working on GQ. I can name most actors and actresses that you have dressed, but we don't have that time, unfortunately. And one of the things you're known for when you dress them is the bespoke nature of the business.
Yes.
And the made to measure, that when someone comes in and says, well, I haven't seen what I want to wear because it's not there yet.
Yeah.
You make that vision come true.
For sure. I think that's how I started out in reference to more of a bespoke and a peer-to-peer business where it was, essentially, before we had our flagship, everything had to be, made for you. And I think having the collaborative spirit of, working with someone who's, so talented in their genre, their career, to come to us to kind of bring their vision to life has always been something that I loved, because it kind of, I'm kind of in control, and, they're always so used to being, in control in their space. So having, giving me the opportunity to kind of, bring their vision to life has always been something I really, really take a lot of pride in. So I think it's been great. A lot of people that I've worked with, I grew up idolizing, and having them become, clients and, some friends as well has definitely been something I've always never take for granted.
No, and I think one of the reasons why you have had success is people see these, amazing outfits that you put together and they're like, "Well, what are you wearing?"
Yeah, yeah.
And the word gets around.
Yeah, I think
You know,
word of mouth is it's how we started out.
yeah.
Was
I mean, look, when you look good, you feel good,
for
right? And when
sure.
you feel good, you talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when people are like, "Well, what is that?" and you go, "It's Frere."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
And it's amazing because I know how much it took you to get to where you are now.
yeah. We're
And
still working. I think
and you and I talk about this all the time,
for sure.
right? It's You're not done. You're
Not at
far from
all.
done,
No,
right?
no, no.
You've just opened up this beautiful retail store.
Yeah,
You went to e-commerce
yeah,
and you're like, I have a million things I want to do next,
yeah, yeah.
right? And the goal is to ensure that, in 50 years from now, we're talking about you. And that we're
That's
still
always the
saying,
vision.
look at the vision that he has accomplished.
Yeah.
And the runway of doing it is not overnight,
No.
right? We all would love overnight success, that you go viral and people know and love you,
Yeah.
but you have already gained so much of that success. But I want to take a step back.
Sure.
What lessons do you think you have learned along that journey from that 18-year-old self to now that you have worked hard for?
I think what I've learned the most is never be content with accomplishments and just goals you set for yourself should always just change daily, because I think we as just say as people you want to just really hone your craft and see I go into every fitting, to every meeting, to every just interaction of what can I get from this, and what can I really just what can I add to what I really don't have. I feel like when you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're always going to bit yourself. You come off a little bit jaded. I
Yeah.
always know that even every day we come here, it's a journey. We're building. I'm learning, and I think for me, what I always take away is I like to ask questions and listen. Opposed
Yeah.
to just really trying to feel like I know everything.
I do love that about you because I think you are bringing a fresh perspective to luxury,
Thank you.
but you're also doing it with this humbleness about you. That you could say, look, I'm the guy that's dressing all these celebrities and CEOs, but you're not that guy that says it all.
No, I think
It's on your Instagram page where
Yeah.
you could see all the who's who,
Yeah.
but when you walk into the store, you greet everyone just the same.
Yeah, you got. I think being humble is also, I think, is a big piece of you don't get to to a certain point by just being full of yourself and all this. I think people really do appreciate and want to support someone that shows some sense of being relatable and being somewhat available. And I think we never lose the sight of I remember how it was in the beginning, and I still look at us now as just being this at the inception of where we need to be, because I think you want people to support you. And I always say you can have the nicest product in the world, but be the worst person. No one's going to support you, but you can have the worst product in the world and just be the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And people want to support you. So I think
it's a balance.
It's a balance.
And
yeah.
you do it really well.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the, I think, lessons that I always ask someone that I'm doing this podcast with is, what have you learned from others that has helped you grow? Like, if you had the experience earlier, what do you think you would have been able to grow faster, knowing something along the way that took you many years more than you think you should have learned it? Is there a piece of advice that someone gave you that you wish you learned earlier? Or is the advice has always been consistent, just to continue growing?
I think it's always just continue growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think continue growing and just always be willing to learn and listen. I think I've always just been very open to asking questions, and whether you're in a different industry, I think I don't always, I think in business, everyone has experiences that can be relatable in no matter what sector, whether it's tech, fashion, film, transportation, medicine. I think for me, I kind of keep my scope of friends, very, very broad, where I can always dibble and dabble and say, hey, what do you think about this? You know, I always say I like to get people's opinions on things I go through in my life just to see, to make sure that, I'm not, making the wrong decisions
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah. And I think that's very mature of you, because
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of people a long time to get to that, to say, look, maybe I should ask before I do something and hear people's opinions.
Yeah.
And usually opinions, I do say not every opinion counts,
Yeah.
but for the majority of opinions, you will get sort of the truth out
Yeah.
to say, am I doing the right thing? Or am I
Yeah.
going in the right direction?
Yeah.
Right? Especially hearing it from people who have been successful in that industry already.
For sure.
The who's who list that I mentioned before
Yes.
is obviously people that you have dressed for some of their best days of their lives.
Yeah.
Right? They're not calling you technically for their Monday morning breakfast look. They're calling you for that, special occasion.
Yeah.
What stands out to you as like that outfit or that thing that you did for someone that you were like, wow, I'm here and I'm doing it?
Well, it hasn't come out yet, but I think, last year working with, the amazing team, with Denzel for his film that's coming out, Highest to Lowest, comes out in the summertime. I think that probably will be something that I will probably forever remember, because it's something that's going to be in a movie for the rest
Yeah.
of
History.
History. So I don't think anything can beat that. I think he is the greatest actor of our generation, and having an opportunity to work with the design team, and also it was directed by Spike Lee, and
Yeah.
seeing going on set, and
I remember I
walking
saw you
around.
shortly thereafter and you were so happy.
Yeah, just
You were
seeing him
beaming.
wearing our stuff was just definitely it was amazing, because
Yeah.
That's an actor that is that is a person. He's not an actor; he's a person that is so well respected.
Yeah. And he's
And
such a nice guy. Like,
yeah,
I don't know him personally, obviously, but you kind of, bring that humbleness
nicest guy.
that he has also is in you. He's like the guy that's made it, and
Still,
still every day,
man.
just very welcoming for anyone.
So it's not like, I don't have, I know they say, you can't have a favorite kid. I don't have any kids myself, but I think that was definitely
A special moment.
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Can beat that, because
Denzel, give us some love when you hear this.
Yeah. And I think that's probably something I'll forever cherish, because I got to physically go on set and see him
Yeah.
performing and wearing it and doing it. And that was, I still, yeah.
I got it. I mean, look, I know every one of us, wants to be at that top of the mountain feeling where we're like, I got it. I'm making it. I've made it. And truthfully, I always say you never want to reach the top of the mountain, because we all know the mountain goes down from there.
Yeah.
But you're at that moment where you're at the top of the mountain and you just want to pat yourself on the back and say, if I did this, what else is next?
Yeah.
Right? You're like, okay, what other door is opening for me
For sure.
that will be a consequence of this door?
For sure.
And it's this, inspiration and motivation that I want everyone to kind of see from you.
Yeah.
And say, look, he's in his 30s. He's has another 40, 50 years to go.
God willing.
Where we can literally all say, like, I knew him when he was in his 30s.
Oh, man.
And look, we were here last year, right? We walked through the store in its bare bones.
Yeah.
And you gave us the tour and you were like, this is the vision.
This is where this is.
And now we're sitting in the vision.
Yeah.
The beauty of this store, I mean, you all have to come and see this, because it is a store that has, it's sophisticated, it's sexy, it's sleek. You can have a drink at the bar, but you could also feel like you have someone, you're coming in and you're getting fit by you. And that's not every day that you get that service.
No. I think that's kind of what we were, looking to instill is, obviously having the right to a component where everyone can come in and feel welcome, but also still keeping that, that private, bespoke experience of having, we call this room the VIP lounge, where you can close the doors and kind of, be a little secluded, curate the music to yourself. And obviously at the, having a bar for me was essential, because, whether it's an espresso or, a cocktail of whatever someone, fancies, I think that kind of adds to the luxurious experience of, if you're coming back here and you're spending that extra, for that, custom experience. I wanted the whole experience to be better. The bigger fitting room, the private bathroom, just even the execution of this, the wood floors, change in color, the depth. Yeah, everything gets a little bit more sexier in the back.
Oh, it's sexy for sure.
That was, and I'm happy you were able to really see that for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we're at 138 Wooster Street in Soho.
Yes.
And one of the things that is, something we need to, say as an accomplishment is you are the first Black owned brand in Soho with your own luxury retail store.
Yeah, I think for us, the first black independently owned luxury brand in Soho is something that is exciting. But I think it's just something that hopefully will just be one of the pillars that we do that really just hopefully we're at the last. And I
Yeah.
think that's
No, look,
kind of
you are, I'm sure, going to inspire so many.
yeah,
And, as everyone has said, everyone has that see it, be it moment.
yeah,
And I always say, for someone who's listening to you right now and is going to be 18 years old and they're thinking, what do I want to do next?
yeah,
They're seeing you and saying, I could be you.
yeah.
I see you and I want to be you. And you are that inspirational, top of the mountain leader that's going to hopefully be on someone's, wish board and say,
God,
if that guy did it,
yeah,
I could do it too.
God willing.
We look back, obviously, you are in your mid 30s. But what would you say to your younger self, that 18-year-old that had that pivotal real estate, decision? What would you say if you could go back and say, look, here's some advice?
Oh, what would I say to myself? I would definitely say choose your friends wisely.
Hmm.
Don't be such in a rush to really grow and expand. Enjoy your youth. I think, the one thing for me, I went into the world of business so young, where I caught myself, my later years trying to really, wow, okay, let me try to enjoy myself, but still, you kind of that's the world that I brought myself into, was getting into business very young. But I think just be mindful of the relationships that you make, and just be very, very open to just listening to your elders, and in terms of just business, be open to learning.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing is, when you're young, you're still a little rebellious and a little
Yeah.
naive to the world of I more than everyone. And I
Yeah.
think obviously through experience you learn that you don't. So I think I was very fortunate enough to start so young, where I was able to make mistakes, and still learning now. Making mistakes, myself, and you still learn. I think I'm 35 years old now, which is, God willing, it's still young in my book. But I think the older I get, the more relationships I make. I want to always just really be fortunate enough to let everyone know I appreciate them, and let someone let I always say let your peers know that you appreciate their time, their friendship, because it's always better to do it while they're here,
Yeah.
opposed to when someone's not here. I think that's kind of what I've learned. In the past year, I've had some friends of mine that unfortunately are not here anymore. That you wish you had that one time to say say this and that,
Yeah.
and now you really have to just live off of memories. So I think
Yeah.
the main thing I would say is just really appreciate people while they're here, and let them know they're appreciated, because I think that is the main thing, is just to people need to understand that you respect them, and you want the best for them, and I think learn to be more outspoken than opposed to being reserved.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I asked that question intentionally because I think one of the things we all do is we're just so busy with every day,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Like, you have a to-do list every day and you get to it, but you just kind of, need to calm yourself and a little slow down. And like you said, appreciate the now,
yeah,
so that it's not fleeing and you have, those regrets that you could have done something or said something.
yeah,
And look, we all live that life,
for
right?
sure.
We're New Yorkers, and that is every day in New York.
Yeah,
And I think when something happens, it just reminds you to slow down,
slow down.
to appreciate
Yeah,
that person, or that experience, and kind of say, hey, whether you're on the way to making it or you've made it, it's still that humble approach that says, I appreciate you. And at the end of the day, clothes make us feel good and look good, but it's the people wearing them.
yeah. As I said earlier, I said with clothing, you're buying an emotion. I think what we're doing here is, obviously I'm designing an aesthetic that I would love people to appreciate, but at the end of the day, the consumers and our clients wear our stuff because they feel a certain way wearing our stuff.
Yeah.
I think we don't make things the wholesaling of it's the best made in the world. It's this and that. Obviously, if you know fabrication, if you know where things are made, you can kind of make that assumption you're on your own. I think what we try to do is sell an emotion, a feeling that you feel a certain way wearing ourselves, which is why you essentially buy it.
Yeah. I can't describe to all of you what some of the clothing feels like because I want you to come in and feel it for yourself. But one of the things that, what you want to do is when you put on something that is so sexy and so luxurious is you want to feel like someone is like hugging you and is making you feel a little bit better than you were before you wore it. This suit right here is probably one of my favorites because it looks like you can wear it to a baseball game, a basketball game,
Yeah.
but yet you can walk into a business meeting
Yeah.
and still look
It's
like
cashmere.
you are,
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think whether you could afford it or whether you're trying to afford it, it's for everyone. It's not meant to be, in a museum watched. It's meant
Yeah.
to be worn and enjoyed. And I think I always say to everyone, when you're wearing something luxurious, it helps you with that go get it kind of feeling.
For sure.
Right? I tell everyone that I, mentor and speak to, we all sometimes just need someone to push us forward.
Yeah.
Right. And clothing can help with that because you feel good to walk in through that door.
Yeah, I would say clothing to me is like it's a aphrodisiac. It makes you feel a certain high about yourself, and that's why again, that's why you buy nice things. Is it gives you that temporary emotion, that full time emotion of wow, okay, this. I'm wearing these cashmere trousers and I feel comfortable and it's lightweight and it's draping on my skin and it just feels nice, and that feeling transitions to your emotions throughout the day. And I think that's kind of why does someone buy a nice watch? Why does someone why does a husband buy a beautiful engagement ring for his fiance? Because that emotion when she wears that ring, it feels good. I think that's kind of how fashion goes. It's a cycle of you get a nice car, you get anything nice, evokes emotion of success or just you feel good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about fashion.
Sure.
And what you think is the piece. What's a must in the closet now?
A must in the closet now for me is a very nice t-shirt. Whether it's cashmere silk, wool silk, cotton tee. I think a nice t-shirt is essential. A nice sweater, whether it's a hoodie or a bomber or cardigan, for me is essential because those things for me are seasonless.
Yeah.
I think I love a good top piece because whether you're going to get back to groceries, you hop on a train, or you're going on a flight, going to a meeting, I think you need one of those pieces are always essential in your wardrobe.
Yeah. Sure. No, I totally agree. It's something you can dress up and dress down.
Always.
What's a fashion faux pas? I'll tell you mine.
Let me hear yours.
I can't stand people who have pants that are too short. It's like one of those things where I'm like, and this is why I love your brand is because you have that bespoke nature. You get, some people go and buy off the rack, and it's okay to buy off the rack. I do it all the time. But when you buy something that just makes you look like something's wrong with what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the pants that are cut too short because you bought the wrong size, or, they're too long and you're schlepping all the dirt behind you. It's that little tailoring bespokeness that everyone should be able to afford because it just makes you look like you're put together.
I guess my faux pas would be, because I don't think there's any faux pas in fashion. I think my only faux pas would be for someone to force a look on themselves. Like I think some looks, people know is for them.
You try too much.
Yeah. Some people, some looks people know are great for them and they know it's not. And then don't force yourself when it's not for you.
Yeah.
And that's my only faux pas.
Yeah, I like that.
Everyone has the right to wear what they want, and I think the freedom to wear what they want. But when it doesn't work, I think you should.
But you also feel it, right? You're like, you kind of see the person being uncomfortable.
And
you're like, oh, that's going to be regrettable one day.
Exactly.
Okay, last question. What's next for Frere, the brand?
Next for us, is God willing, this is growth. I think for us, we're in a phase where we're looking to see how we can take and grow this even further and really build. And God willing, in a couple of years, there's more locations and so forth. So I think for me now is still learning, just our customer and our client base. Obviously it's our first iteration to ready to wear, so just learning what the client off the street is coming in and what they want, and just to really build on to the team and, God willing, just really add on to what we've already built here.
I love that. And I think your progress so far has been so kind of like an ethos of your manifestation of what you've already spoken out loud, and it's already happened. And I think by speaking out loud, you're just going to be so much faster along that journey to make your dream come true. Because we all, look, for those of you that know the brand already, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's making his way towards the fashion brand with sophistication, talent. The clothing itself is ultimate high tier luxury, but you're also, at the top of the house with other brands like Cucinelli, Tom Ford. Like, you're up there with them. I said to someone like, who hasn't known of you yet, and I go, what can I describe them as? And I said, they're the Ferrari of clothing.
Wow.
You want to be able to say, and I say this to people, are you the bicycle, the Toyota, or the Ferrari? And you want to be the Ferrari, right? You aspire to be the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Whether it's in clothing, whether it's whatever business industry that you're in.
For sure, yeah.
And you're at that stage.
Appreciate that.
The growth is going to be that people are going to talk about you more.
God willing.
Right? The magazines, you're already in GQ. You were mentioned, about the store being opened. So like the brands will pick you up more and more just for the simple fact that now people are going to be wearing you and they're going to be going, I know who that is.
Oh, man.
And Denzel's going to be there with you.
Oh man, I'm definitely waiting for that trailer to come out and really see it, because I think for me it's, this obviously this opportunity for you to really, I want to thank you for even feeling that we were worthy enough to be on your show. This is definitely an honor to be here, and thank you for really seeing what we're building, and I really appreciate it.
I saw it the moment we walked into the store, and you were like, I have this vision. And I'm not that visionary, but I saw it through your eyes.
Oh.
And I literally have loved you from, the beginning, because you have a drive that you can't buy.
Oh man.
The drive that you have is something that you have or don't have.
Well, it's not, I say for me, what I've learned, it's our team. We have an amazing group of people that have, really, put their blood, sweat, and tears. I think the one thing I've learned in this part is teamwork is essential. Nothing happens without having us a good core and base of people that really wake up on a daily basis to really see how can we empower this vision, because it's everyone's vision. I think it's not only myself. I think everyone who is part of our team now really, has just the drive to see how do we make this better every day. So that's something that really drives me, is seeing everyone else, give 100% makes me want to give 110. So.
Yeah. And that's actually a great point to end on, because I think, one, a lot of people who do make it and are absolutely at the top of their, industries don't do it alone.
It's impossible. I think there's no way in hell to ever do anything alone.
There is this, team of people whose name isn't on the brand.
Yeah.
But their blood, sweat, and tears is definitely behind you.
Yeah.
And they definitely get the right to get recognized, not just for you, but for those that are behind every successful brand. But it also is something that, the team is coming in every day working hard for you, because they all have that goal. Yeah. They have the same goal that you have to be successful and progress the company to bigger and better things.
Business is a team sport. It's not tennis or golf. So
correct. And you look, the best teams out there survive longevity because the team is glued by the top of the house.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing I say all the time is, you can have the best strategy, but if the people don't believe the person leading the charge,
execution is impossible.
They're not going to execute. Yeah. Right. So because you are at the top of the house and you are keeping your team so well, glued together, I think it speaks volume as to what you're building.
I appreciate that.
And I think for those of you, again, we're at 138 Wooster Street. You're going to love when you come into the store and experience the top of, the Ferrari kind of styling that I refer to. But you're also going to love Frere himself. I think behind all the celebrities, right? Every celebrity is a person.
Yeah.
And you are a person that, everyone will love upon meeting, but also genuinely you appreciate the clothing, because you know the mastery and the skill that you're bringing is not something you can buy off the rack potentially at all the other brands. But also, ladies, he does make bespoke ladies wear.
For sure.
It is not just a men's store, even though a lot of the, hangers have men's clothing. He dressed Beyoncé, so you can't say he's not making women's wear. So for all of you out there, come and visit the store. Come and reach out to Petit-Frere online. His Instagram page is the who's who of Hollywood and top of the industry moguls. But also, say hi, reach out. You're going to see him everywhere going forward. So don't be afraid to give us a shout out. And at the same time, Dee, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I appreciate you and your time.
No, thank you.
And everyone, we're going to do a little sweep of the store, so you'll see a little bit of the rest of the store on the top lessons. And for those of you that want to collaborate going forward, reach out to me, and I will see you soon on the next Top Lessons podcast. Peace out.
Peace out.
Bye.